A blessed morning, blessed day to all of you, also to those who are joining us in our worship here at the Shrine of Jesus Divine Word through this live streaming. I would like to focus this reflection on the first reading, and we start today with this reading and meditation on the first letter of Peter, which according to scholars is a letter written in the name actually of Peter. Many of the scholars would say that someone wrote either with the inspiration and of Saint Peter, or through the dictation of Saint Peter himself. Well, that's the main contention of scholars of this letter. And this letter is addressed to small groups of Christians scattered throughout the city of Asia Minor and the center, which is the present Turkey. These Christians to whom this letter is addressed were exposed to harassment and hostility of their environment that were suspicious of them, and they were intolerant. And the logic of the Christian faith is that the trials that Christians suffer are like crucible or fire that refines the metal. It needs the crucible. It has to endure this refinement through fire in order to bring out the best quality of the metal. And that is the image in which the author wants to compare the experience of Christian life being tried by persecution, harassment, and intolerance. But the tribulations of the present have significance and have positive meaning to this situation of Christians. That these tribulations are the price of fidelity to Jesus. Then the Beatitudes of the Gospel can be applied also to Christians, because these tribulations are the tests of faith as our adhesion to Christ with love. And it is the mark of those who are saved. Thus, in fact, is founded on the power of the fidelity of God the Father, who raised Jesus from the dead. And this is the foundation of our faith. At the same time, this death and resurrection, this victory of Jesus, becomes the foundation also of our Christian hope. A key virtue emphasized by this first letter of Peter. Through this act of salvation, the Christian is assured of an inheritance of everlasting life. And we find too here a very concrete view of time for the Christians, which is expressed in this letter. It understands time in this way, that the past is a prologue, a preparation for the future. And salvation is secure in the future. Therefore, the present, that which comes in between the past and the future, it becomes bearable. Sufferings of the present can be endured precisely because of what God has done in the past, assuring us of His care and love and salvation that He gained for us through Jesus Christ's death and resurrection. And the future, the promise of the future, resurrection and life, is assured by these two poles. So the present suffering therefore becomes bearable, and this becomes now an exercise for us as a crucible to prepare us to gain that fullness of life. I know that in the present context we have different challenges, sufferings, personal, community, national, world difficulties that we have, that at times, kailan ba matatapos ito? And all those questions of uncertainty, in the face of uncertainties. Yet the Lord is giving us His assurance. He has prepared His work of salvation and has accomplished through Jesus Christ. And He has shown us the fullness of life with Him in heaven. This interim, therefore, is also assured, we are assured of God's care and victory for those who remain faithful to Him. May our celebration of the Eucharist, the celebration of God's work of salvation and a foretaste of heaven, enable us also to grow in our faith and our hope in Him. Amen.